It's Movement Monday, and on this Monday, we're not really going to be moving around a lot, although you can tell by this guest, he probably moves some weights or 3 or 4 or 5. This is Jacob Davis. He is with the Nutrition Store. They are so popular. They have one in Boiling Springs, and then recently they moved to right next to where I'm working out in Greenville. How's it going?
It's going. Thank you for having me on.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here.
Absolutely. Well, I love it because, you know, I'm in the gym just about every day of the work week. Weekends, I don't really get a chance to. And it's always like, what else can I do to kind of supplement and go along with what I'm doing in the gym? And that's kind of where you come in.
Yeah, so the Nutrition Store, you know, I started it 3 years ago in Spartanburg as a place to be a consultation-based environment. You know, the traditional supplement store model is come in, we're gonna, you know, sell you a stack of products that you might not need. And so we've kind of built on that concept of honesty and actually providing real value to people through education and legitimate products. And so I'm super thankful to be in Greenville now, actually right next door to your gym. So
what I think is great and would be nice to work with someone like you is because sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, it's overwhelming. You walk into your store and just like, oh my God, there's these huge bottles everywhere. Like, I don't really know what I need to be taking. So what would you do? How does it work? If I come in and I'm like, listen, I just wanna, you know, just see some of the gains that I'm making, or maybe just, you know, I'm not getting enough vegetables in.
Exactly. And, you know, so the first thing that we do when you walk in the store is we try to figure out what your goals and what your like end goal should be. Instead of saying, hey, what are you taking? Like, here, take this, take that. We want to actually look at your lifestyle. So more often than not, we send you away for 3 days and say, hey, come back with your diet log of 72 hours.
Oh, that's good.
We'll look at that as a whole, you know, figure out your calorie needs, your macronutrient needs, and then we'll make recommendations based off of that. But we never like to just say, hey, you look like you could use this.
You need
Trust
this.
me. Yeah. So.
Yes.
But yeah, that's kind of the system in which we operate there.
And then when you do that, and you are taking some of these, you know, supplements and stuff, what are the benefits that you're going to see from that?
Right. And you know, the common thing when people walk into TNS, my store, is they look at me, a muscle guy, and they're like, oh, this is a bodybuilding store. And you know, there's so many benefits to supplements depending on what deficiencies you might have for your overall health. You know, for example, if you're struggling with vitamin D deficiency, like 80% of Americans are, taking a vitamin D and K supplement is very beneficial for hormone health, joint health, your mood, energy, etc. And even optimizing your protein intake through whether it's a supplement or your diet can actually improve total quality of life, not only your metabolism, but your bone regrowth, muscle growth, etc.
Oh, that's one thing too, that a lot of people may have certain ailments or may be doing things and they don't realize a lot of things come from like gut issues.
Exactly. And gut health is very important. And as we learn more and more in the research field about the vagus nerve and how it connects to the brain, immune system, etc., we really got to start taking care of the bacterial cells in our small intestine. And that's where things like adequate vegetable intake is, green products are, probiotics, examples. So yeah, very beneficial for overall digestion.
Because in a perfect world, we're, you know, getting our 4 to 5 helpings of vegetables a day.
Emphasis on the perfect world,
right? You know, sometimes that's just not realistic, especially if we're busy and we don't have time. So that's when something like this is huge.
Exactly.
And really,
and you know, contrary to what we're kind of taught in modern society about supplements not being regulated, there's a myriad of studies behind a lot of great ingredients. You just got to find them.
You got to find it, because that's an important thing to know exactly what you're taking, just because it may say something like enzyme health or whatever. Well, what are the other things that are in there?
Exactly. So what's in a blend? You know, when you look at a label of a product, I often encourage people, don't really pay attention to the front of these labels. Their goal is to sell you the product. It's marketing.
Right. It's going to be catchy. And
and when we turn it around and look at the supplement facts panel, what ingredients are in there and how much of each ingredient. So if we're looking at a product, for example, that has what we call a proprietary blend, do we actually know what we're taking is what it says we're taking? They could have sprinkled, you know, a half of the dose of the right ingredient in there and then filled the rest with, you know, carbs, sugar.
Filler stuff.
Exactly. So
that defeats it. Okay, last question, because I know a lot of ladies we deal with as men too, but I'm hooking up the ladies today. Stubborn fat.
Okay. So
is there something we can take that's going to help with that?
You know, there's a few things. There's actually a few ingredients. One that comes to mind is called L-biba. It's a derivative of an ingredient called carnitine, which works on the mitochondria of your fat cell. We've seen the possibility of that being able to help convert tissue to brown fat. Long process, but in reality though, I'll back up and say it is lifestyle. Typically when people say they have stubborn fat, there's some link in the tree that's missing in their lifestyle. You know, are they getting enough sleep? Are we adequately eating the right amount of calories and the right foods? You know, that comes into play, and that's where supplements can kind of assist you in getting there better.
I was going to say, yep, Megan, just take one of these from this big old bottle every day.
Now, I will say, you know, I guess on top of that, you know, every gram of protein that you consume is 30% caloric burn, right? You actually burn calories consuming protein as opposed to like 7% carbs, 2% fat. So
see, that's good. For more, he'll hook you up. Go visit them in Boiling Springs or in Greenville. The website's right there on the screen. Thank you so much, Megan. That was great. The Nutrition Store.